Bonjour cette semaine est consacrée à Alexander McQueen. Derrière ses défilés spectaculaires, ses shows provocants et sa mode extravagante se cache un homme timide, talentueux, sensible. Nous sommes venus découvrir cette face cachée d'Alexander ici dans la campagne anglaise, mais nous irons aussi à Londres dans son studio de création où il nous a subjugués les ciseaux à la main. So Alexander, here is your house. and thank you, dogs.
Yeah. Go on, come on. In, Minna, come on, in. Come on, yeah.
The view is very important here. Why?
Because it's next to the sea, and I have an infinity with the sea. I need to, I don't know, maybe because I'm Pisces, I don't know. It's just that it's very calming, you know. It's all the elements, you know. And when it rains and it snows and you're near the sea and you can hear the waves and you can see in England we see white horses, you know, the big, you see the waves, and it's very melancholic, but it's very romantic. And you know, if you just stand there and you look out, and sometimes you can see France. And
from your bed you can see France.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's a very old house.
400 years old, really old.
This tree has a strange story. It's very old too, huh?
Yeah, this is older than the house. This is over 400 years old. It's an elm tree, and we uplight it at night, and it's very Tim Burton, who's a good friend of mine, and it's good inspiration for you. Remember the conservatory show?
Yeah.
So I designed the conservatory show here.
Ah, yes?
Yeah, because this tree was the start of the show for, you know, the wolves.
Yes.
This was the start of it.
McQueen, un génie de la mise en scène. Paris Mode, dès 1996, décide de le suivre et le met à l'antenne afin de le faire découvrir ici à Paris. Diplômé de la St. Martin School en 1993, il crée sa marque dans la foulée, n'ayant pu accéder au studio de Jean-Paul Gaultier et de Martin Margiela, les deux seuls créateurs qui l'intéressaient. À l'époque, c'est la galère, les temps sont durs. Issu d'un milieu modeste, McQueen ne bénéficie d'aucune aide. Chez LVMH, on repère la perle sur Paris Première, une aubaine pour cet enfant terrible et prodige. McQueen a 26 ans lorsqu'il prend la suite de John Galliano chez Givenchy avec la haute couture du printemps-été 97. Sa mission, la direction artistique du prêt-à-porter et de la haute couture. Un vrai challenge pour un jeune créateur. L'expérience Givenchy arrondit ses fins de mois et lui apprend à maîtriser ses idées, mais il n'est pas à l'aise pour autant. Il choque, il provoque, cultive une esthétique sexuelle parfois cruelle. McQueen surfe sur l'ambivalence, il voit la beauté là où d'autres voient la laideur et le morbide. McQueen, c'est avant tout la coupe, impeccable, apprise à l'âge de 16 ans chez les tailleurs de Savile Row, féminisée grâce à son travail haute couture. Mais dès décembre 2000, c'est le clash, adieu LVMH. On va parler un petit peu de ton histoire dans la mode. Comment un petit peu tu as commencé, ton passage dans la haute couture et puis ton arrivée dans le Gucci Group. Comment tu as évolué?
I'm much more relaxed as a person. The Givenchy days, as you know, was quite traumatic. It was a lot of work. I was 26 at the time when I started Givenchy. It was a great experience, but maybe it was for someone so young. I think it was a lot of work to do because I was designing 14 collections a year. It was incredible. I would never go back. I mean, I would never step back. I'm glad I did.
Yes, of course, it was one step in your way. Yeah,
and I'm glad it was when I was young, and because now it's made me more confident in my own work, and. I think I understand more what I'm looking for in my life, in my work, and because even if sometimes I wouldn't like to think so, my work does run into my life. So there has to be some sort of peace and calm there, and yeah, I think you know, I'm very fond of Domenico and Tom, and I'm very
They let you very free?
completely, 100% artistic control over my company and over the illusion of Alexander McQueen, and the shops, which is the main reason why I chose Gucci Group over LVMH, because of the freedom. I think, no disrespect to Monsieur Arnaud, but the different mentality, a different concept in business. But my feeling was more of a family-orientated company, more relaxed and less pressurized, and I'm happy with where I am now.
C'est en décembre 2000 aussi que McQueen cède 51% des parts de sa société au Gucci Group. Un soulagement financier. McQueen, en toute confiance, ne doit plus s'inquiéter pour sa trésorerie. Il décide de défiler à Paris.
You know, when we started making investments in other companies, I really thought about every season, whose collections do I look at and whose collections am I jealous of, in a sense, and whose collections do I think are absolutely amazing. And Lee, or Alexander as the world knows him, every season, you know, he's something that is so rare.
One day, Tom came to see me and said, you know, we really need to think about Lee McQueen. And I never forget, he gave me a tape of what I thought was the most moving, beautiful shows that I've seen. I've seen a lot of shows. It was the show about the birds, called The Bird Cage. And I thought it was beautiful, it was simply beautiful. It was very moving, it was beautiful, the clothes were beautiful.
He's a real poet. And the wonderful thing about Lee is he is poet, and he won't like this either, but it's true, poet and commerce united, because he's very practical, he's very real, he understands, he wants to be successful, and so he understands that, you know, you can express whatever you want on the runway, but you have to have something beautiful on the hanger to sell to a store.
In fact, I think the performance of the McQueen stores that we have opened so far has been very, very strong, somewhat stronger than even we expected. And despite the fact that, as you know, we've gone through the last 2 years been sort of difficult economy in general, and for the luxury industry in particular.
En avril 2004, Domenico Desolé et Tom Ford vont quitter le Gucci Group. Espérons que leur successeur saura respecter le talent et la personnalité de McQueen. Alexander, tu vas nous parler un peu d'architecture, parce que cette maison, c'est toi qui l'as voulu comme ça à l'intérieur. Et quand as-tu commencé à t'intéresser à l'architecture?
Yeah, I mean, it's always been a passion of mine. I did really want to be an architect when I was at school, but where I come from, I had no qualifications to be an architect. Now that I can afford to work with architects and work in architecture, it's like a hobby now.
Quand tu as acheté cette maison, tout de suite, tu as su ce que tu voulais à l'intérieur?
Yeah, I mean, because it's pretty much like my work is contradictory in terms. It's like the house is 400 years old, and the inside I wanted very modern, but comfortable as well, because I have to live here at the weekends, and it's relaxed. It had to be a complete contrast. I didn't want to change the outside of the building, because the outside has so much character, and with the surrounding areas and the countryside around here next to the sea. But it had to have my personality as well. So.
Dans la boutique aussi, même s'il y a eu un architecte, tu as tout voulu contrôler.
I suppose I'm quite stubborn when it comes to my work, and before, when I was with my old backers, you let them take responsibility for the illusion of Alexander McQueen. And I learned early that it was the wrong thing to do, because at the end of the day, it's my illusion. So when I signed with Gucci and we started to open these shops, I had a definitive idea of what the way the things should look.
think it's very theatrical. I mean, if you see his shows, this enormous theatrical effort goes into the presentation of his clothing at the show. And I think what we were trying to do is to make a space that had the same sense of theatre and the same, you step off the street and you leave the reality of the world behind almost, and you enter his McQueen's world. And hopefully, I mean, there was a balance to be found between being too theatrical and overpowering the clothing, and having something that was theatrical and very distinctive, yet allowed the clothes to shine.
What is your, because it's a best friend of you, but you are doing very interesting thing with him, Nick Knight.
Working with Nick is always like exhilarating because he's always wanting to try to do new things. I mean, the work I do for showstudio.com, his website, I mean, it's always revolutionary.
Yeah.
It's making a wedding dress out of a man's suit, and
this is a real performance.
Yeah, it's his performance art, exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, and it's live.
Yeah.
On the net, and you can tap in and you can see me changing this man's suit into this wedding dress and covering him in paint, and it's exciting, it's fresh and it's new, and Nick gives you carte blanche, so it's cool.
On voit les vêtements, on voit la manière qu'ils se comportent, qu'ils ont public, mais personne ne le voit actuellement créer des vêtements. Et on m'avait dit, j'avais entendu de Katie England et des gens autour de lui, qu'il faut vraiment voir lui quand il coupe, quand il a un paire de ciseaux en main, quand il a quelque chose en main. C'était là, à ce moment, que lui, il devenait vraiment lui-même. Alors je lui avais demandé de justement créer ces vêtements devant nos appareils, devant nos vidéos. Et il l'avait fait d'une manière assez... il y avait une trentaine de personnes dans le studio quand il travaillait, et tout le monde était complètement la bouche ouverte à le voir travailler. Quand il a dit qu'il a fait ça, il m'a dit « Ok, Nick, je te demande, il faut que toi, tu me transformes dans l'aigle doré. »
Do you think that one day you will do paintings or something else, sculpture or artistic thing, I'm sure?
Maybe film. I've been thinking about making a film, maybe in the future.
Like director?
Yeah, I directed one video for Bjork, which was hectic. It was 2 24-hour days. It was crazy, but I would like to make something a bit more, most probably more biographical.
Your own story with your family story?
Yeah, it's based on...
You were lucky with your parents, with your family, and they are always there and very close to you. It's important for you.
Yeah, because my family keep me grounded, you know. It's, as you know, fashion can be a very superficial business, so I have to have that cement grounding of my family. My family is what makes me the person I am today, you know. It's like when, you know, you're surrounded by film stars or pop stars and things like this, it's good to come back down to earth. You know, at the end of the day, there is normality in my life.
De retour à Londres, après nous avoir ouvert les portes de sa maison, Alexander McQueen, comme un gamin, prend du plaisir à nous faire découvrir ses archives.
Are you excited to see again some pieces like that one?
Yeah, really. I hope it's there now, because I haven't seen it for a long time. Yeah. I don't know if the rat is there, but the castle is. Yeah, the rat is here.
Yes! Ah! Il y a le rat dedans! He's still alive, no! No, my God, he's not alive.
It was a crazy piece.
Yes,
because
yes,
it was based on a mental asylum, and it's like the things you used to do, like play cards.
Who made that one?
We made it here.
Yes.
Yeah. This one is from it's a jungle out there where the cars were set on fire, but not by accident. It wasn't part of the show, but
yeah.
And that was under London Bridge. It's quite heart-wrenching. It's heartwarming to see these pieces. I mean, I don't know how I did these shoulders.
Yeah.
Feel the pad. It's like.
Oh yes.
And then I think the oldest piece I have is this.
Oh yes.
It's so old. It's from the Highland Rape. It's when I was working with no manufacturer, I had no backing. I was just myself in a small room, Isabella's house in a house, like a derelict house. I was making the collections with like fishing wire and crazy things. But it's like.
How many hours you spend to do this? You remember?
2
Night
days.
and day?
Yeah, all through the night, all through the day.
Oh yeah. It was made here too, no?
Yeah.
With your.
With the corseted
Wow.
man's jacket, with all the stitching details of the couture.
We always speak about Savile Row, but we can see what you learn in Savile Row in every pieces. No?
Yeah, no, definitely. It is.
Like one base, or I don't know, like a.
It's fundamentally it's what the collections are based on. You know, it's the construction.
Yeah.
So, but there's so much here. I mean, there's like crazy things. It doesn't seem so long ago, but you know, it's unusual to see how fast and how quick things have developed for me, from the Island Rape to now with Gucci, now with shops all over the world. I think it's
because you are very young.
I suppose I am, but I think it's maybe it's a good testament for people like myself that come from working class backgrounds, that it can be done, that you can do what you really want to do in life, and everything is possible.
Sa société emploie 20 personnes à l'année, 40 pendant les mois de défilé. Les stagiaires et les petites mains viennent doubler les effectifs des ateliers. McQueen, perfectionniste, supervise tout.
Ici, tu travailles vraiment avec des ateliers. On pourrait dire que c'est un vrai travail de couture pour tes collections.
I've always, to make me very sort of like interested in a show, I have to do lots of hand work. I have to see, because when you manufacture garments like you do in Italy, you can't really see the process, and I need to see the process. I need to see the patterns develop. I just need to be more hands-on with my work, I need to have that feeling and that passion for why I do fashion. All the people here are students, and it's like training them up and giving them that initial step into the world of fashion, especially when it comes to the show, because everyone who comes from colleges or universities that works here, they all come to Paris, so they see it from the start to the end. So it's almost like a mini university for students.
What I learned at McQueen is basically Everything that I learned for fashion, I learned here. Like, I didn't really learn it at university. Everything I learned about how pieces are created, how things are designed, how the ideas come up and we're allowed to work on them, and how the show then is in the end. I just learned everything here.
Because you're working so many hours, you just learn so much and you have to take so much in, and you just get used to working to deadlines all the time and learning just to do your best all the time, even, you know, everything has to be of a certain quality and standard.
Ils ont beaucoup de chance de pouvoir travailler avec toi. Je ne sais pas si toi, tu avais eu cette chance au début.
When I started in London, there was nothing like this.
Yeah.
You know, it was because they are. It's as close as we can get to haute couture in England. You know, we do all our embroideries for the show here. We do have a part of the collection that's purely handmade. I'm also lucky to have them. Do you know what I mean? Because it's very long hours. It's 7 days a week, and this particular show has been really laborious. It's taken like 2 months.
Est-ce que tu continues toujours à chercher des nouvelles techniques, des nouvelles matières et des façons de faire les vêtements?
Fundamentally, to me, this is what fashion is about, because you have to move forward, you have to progress, you have to find new techniques of cutting, new ways of developing fabrics, new, you know, even if it means starting with maybe 100% cashmere wool suiting and destroying it and then remaking it and then coming up with something fantastic. We like to make mistakes because you get the best ideas from mistakes, and this is what we do. We make loads of mistakes here.
Face.
For this one print, there's mostly about 20 roughs, you know. I mean, the artwork that goes into it, I mean, you separate all these images and we do it on the computer, we take it from references. I mean, this print started from a picture of Billie Holiday being arrested for drugs. And it ended up like this.
So this is interesting. You know why, Alexander? Because when we look the show, they cannot know, you know, how it's difficult to do it and how it's.
But this is, I mean, this is why design or fashion is so expensive, because of what goes into the garments. You know, it's not just about printing something. This is like meticulously like engineered around the body. You can't. A high street can't do this because they can't afford to do this. This is what we do, and this is why we do it, because it brings fashion to another level.
Yes, yes.
So we go through lots of techniques, like the Devoret jersey. You see, we burn it out.
Ah, yeah.
And we go through like hundreds and hundreds of strike-offs, we call them, before we can get to the one we use. These are rejects because of the colourway is not right and whatever. But you know, it's just constantly this glows in the dark, and it's just like laborious work.
Je voudrais aussi qu'on parle des accessoires de Sean Lynn.
Sean's my oldest friend. Before I started, he was my friend, and he had the same kind of background. He was in like an apprentice, like I was in Savile Row. He was an apprentice in Hatton Garden, which makes all the jewellery, like the diamonds and that. And so we just started collaborating, and now we usually collaborate on every show. I mean, for the Amazon collection, we come up with this, like from the research and from the prints.
Sometimes Alexander comes straight to me and he knows exactly what he wants, and he will do a rough sketch and he'll say, look, that's what I want. And because I've worked with him for so many years, he trusts my craftsmanship to execute it to the standard that he wants. But then sometimes I'll go and look at the collection and then we'll sit down and talk about it and then we'll both come up with ideas of different things to make. The nice thing about working with Alexander is he gave me a platform to express my creativity and create things that normally I wouldn't have the opportunity of creating, because I wouldn't be commissioned to make things like this for an everyday client, and it's the platform that he gives me which allows me to make such beautiful, strong pieces.
It's always about pushing to the extreme the human body, the human nature. A lot of people got confused thinking it was more to do with misogyny, but it was never about misogyny. To me it was art, because the chalices, the cages were based on Anne Belmer.
Yeah.
And the contortion of the body. And as a designer, you're always working with cutting up the body into different proportions, different shapes. This is what a designer's job is to transcend what fashion is and what it could be.
I like you like that.
Now we're just working on the silhouettes. But when I first started to wear with Gucci, and they finished the garments, and I said, "Can I have some scissors?" And they give me the scissors, and they go, "Oh, what did you do?"
Ah, yeah?
And cashmere, calico, it's all the same. Okay, so we'll just put that in all the way around and that's finished. Okay.
Depuis ses débuts, Alexander McQueen cultive goût du spectacle et sens de la théâtralité. Chaque saison, il nous raconte une histoire mise en scène avec la collection.
Est-ce que tu as beaucoup changé? Est-ce que tu as beaucoup évolué dans l'idée du show et de tes collections?
I suppose more mature. It's before, like years ago, it was mainly about the shock tactics of the show to grab the attention of the press, make some form of statement. Today it's more theoretically thought out. The collection and the time. My mind is constantly working overtime to come up with a concise and directional collection that is fundamentally sellable, but is also on a higher plane, on an artistic level. For myself, it's no longer about shock tactics. It's more about purely the aesthetic of the collection.
What makes cancer tenacious? The moon rules the fluids, including the inner juices of human beings, that which assimilates and feeds the body.
Pour ce défilé, est-ce que c'est la suite des autres défilés ou est-ce que c'est complètement quelque chose de nouveau?
No, this show started from a film. It's called They Shoot Horses, Don't They?
Ah oui.
I wanted to work with a friend of mine who's a dancer called Michael Clark, and I've always wanted to incorporate movement into the clothes, some form of emotion through movement of dance. And I'd watched this film by accident about 8 months ago, and it was emotional. And he had all the feelings of a McQueen show, the sadness, the happiness, the desperation, and it seemed quite relevant to what was going on in the world today. On a design level, the clothes are much more feminine than they've ever been. It's in a period where glamour was at its height, the 1930s, but brought forward to the present day. And working with Michael Clark, it just pushed that illusion on. It pushed that modernity on. It's the most complicated show I've ever done because we have about 38 dancers and 35 models, and it's exhausting. Rehearsals, dress rehearsals, fittings, choreography, and it's a hard one.
Jour J à Paris. Dans les coulisses, on termine les dernières robes et l'on s'entraîne encore. En salle, le public afflue à l'un des défilés les plus courus des collections parisiennes.
He's just an artist and he works with the clothes like you might work with a razor blade. He cuts very, very sharp silhouettes that move like birds in the sky. I think he's the only designer that can make something move.
Son habileté a été mise au service de sa créativité. Donc c'est pas seulement quelqu'un qui fait des dessins, qui coupe et puis donne à l'industrie fait. C'est quelqu'un qui suit tout. Donc c'est un vrai travail de couture.
Alexander McQueen a choisi de présenter sa collection Printemps-été 2004 à la salle Wagram. En guise de podium, une salle de bal au parquet lustré. Pour la mise en scène, il collabore avec le chorégraphe anglais Michael Clark, considéré outre-Manche comme le bad boy de la danse. Alexander McQueen s'est inspiré du chef-d'œuvre de Sidney Pollack, On achève bien les chevaux. Tout comme les costumiers d'Hollywood, McQueen a dû prendre en considération les mouvements corporels pour cette collection. Les habits ne doivent pas entraver les corps. La scène se déroule aux USA dans les années 30, en pleine crise économique. L'histoire met en scène des couples. Ces derniers participent à un marathon de danse dans l'espoir de remporter le prix de $1 500. Et pour cette chorégraphie, Michael Clark mêle mannequins et danseurs professionnels. À l'inverse des présentations traditionnelles, le défilé s'ouvre sur les pièces les plus luxueuses, début du marathon de la danse. Karen Nelson, mannequin britannique de l'agence Viva, porte une robe sirène ultra glamour, entièrement rebrodée de paillettes argent décolletées en V et dos dégagé. Exemple de robe trompe-l'œil, faite de dentelle, avec un débardeur en coton incorporé et les manches sont rebrodées. Celle-ci, c'est un fourreau de satin évasé sur jupon de tulle. Pour lui, c'est un marcel de coton rehaussé d'un numéro en strass. Jupe en plume d'autruche noire assortie avec une veste de satin cintré. Chapeau vertigineux signé Philippe Tracy. Robe en patchwork de mousseline de soie décolletée dans le dos. Traîne rebrodée de pièces de mousseline. À nouveau une robe en trompe-l'œil, corset de satin cher rebrodé sur t-shirt de coton gris chiné, manches et bottes rebrodées de strass, jupe évasée faite de jupons de tulle. Combinette en soie de couleur menthe qui rappelle la lingerie des années 30. Robe de soie saumon, coupée en biais, ouverte sur un bustier corseté. Voici la pièce qu'Alexander McQueen préparait dans ses ateliers. Il s'agit d'une robe sirène en soie, dans le dos, profond décolleté bénitier découvrant la naissance des fesses, réchauffé d'un boléro boa corail. Maria Carla, elle, porte un pantalon découpé sur les côtés, puis rebrodé de boucleries pour un effet piercing. Boléro de plumes noires et coupe années 30, et son cavalier porte un pantalon de soie noire et un marcel, évidemment. Smoking trompe-l'œil en prince de Galles et mousseline de soie, manche de dentelle. Au fil de ce marathon de la danse, la fatigue se fait peu à peu sentir. Les cheveux se décoiffent, les vêtements fatigués eux aussi perdent de leur préciosité. Robe à culotte bouffante en cotonnade gris à col blanc, manchette de tulle rebrodée de strass. Entièrement transparente, la combinaison de mousseline et de maille noire. Manteau-robe à armature en prince de Galles et dentelle. Et au fur et à mesure de cette collection printemps-été 2004, on peut sentir cette impression de vêtements qui reflètent l'usure et le vécu. Exemple de coupe à la McQueen avec ce tailleur en prince de Galles rebrodé sur de l'organza pour la veste. Jupe sirène à panneaux de lainage rebrodé sur de la dentelle chair. C'est la fin du premier acte de cette collection d'Alexander McQueen printemps-été 2004 que nous vous montrons dans son intégralité. Tout le monde dans les starting blocks. Comme dans le film, le derby commence. Les participants doivent se plier à une course d'endurance afin d'éliminer les couples les moins résistants. Les protagonistes sont épuisés, l'ambiance est plutôt sportswear. On retrouve ici l'imprimé pop art dont nous a parlé Alexander McQueen dans son studio. Veste courte en patchwork d'agneau métallisé gris et rose. McQueen avait déjà travaillé ce motif de patchwork pour sa collection hivernale. Couleurs vives et superpositions sont à l'honneur. Les shorts sont moulants, les marcels coordonnés pour les hommes. Michael Clark et Alexander McQueen ont voulu retranscrire la course frénétique pour la survie. Pas facile de courir sur un parquet ciré, les mannequins ne nous contrediront pas. Dur, avec des talons de 12 cm. Levée de rideau pour le 3e acte. Rares sont les finalistes. Le concours n'est pas encore terminé. La garde-robe est plus éclectique. Les danseurs portent des versions retravaillées, usagées de leur tenue originale. Karen porte une robe de mousseline de soie déchirée, découvrant son torse. Bonne comédienne, elle reflète l'épuisement de 62 jours de danse et elle s'effondre dans les bras de son partenaire. En patchwork d'hexagones en coton pour simuler un pardessus de fortune et bottines d'agneau et toile. Encore une fois, la tenue n'entrave pas le mouvement. Robe sirène rebrodée de strass. Suivi de la tenue façon working class américaine, jupe de jean évasée aux genoux, coupé bord franc et chemise de coton à carreaux portée sur un t-shirt. Tulipe en patchwork et chemise cintrée à carreaux, portée sur un bustier en mousseline de soie. Encore une autre proposition de robe sirène, également rebrodée, décolleté, avec un bustier corseté de couleur chair incorporé. Il s'agit d'une collection extrêmement travaillée, aux multiples détails couture. Une robe du soir culotte en soie ivoire. Bal en patch de coton, en manchure bouffante, de tulle et dentelle. Et seules les manches volantées témoignent de l'ancienne opulence de la tenue. Chemise beige ouverte sur un débardeur de coton, portée sur un t-shirt à motif tatouage rebrodé, dont on aperçoit les manches. Et ces jeans découpés, recousus sur du tulle élastique transparent cher, ne sont pas sans nous rappeler la collection de Jean-Paul Gaultier de 1994. En patchwork de coton et chemise façon haillon pour cette rescapée à bout de force. Combinaison de tulle entièrement rebrodé de strass, porté sur un t-shirt décontracté de coton gris. Et voici la dernière robe du défilé. Lassés, épuisés, les danseurs réalisent que la compétition était un leurre. Mais cette collection d'Alexander McQueen printemps-été 2004 n'est certainement pas un leurre. C'est une des collections qui a été le plus saluée dans la presse internationale, une des meilleures collections d'Alexander McQueen.
You are a great dancer like that.
I didn't know either.
No.
Honestly, no. I mean, this guy Michael just told us all what to do and we just did it. So it was so much fun. One of the most beautiful shows I've ever been in, I think. It was just amazing. It really was. I think everybody in this show really realized that they were doing something special and that you had to not hold anything back, you know? So it was incredible.
Being around the models is very interesting for me because they have a very different physicality from the very strict training that I come from. And it's kind of been this whole week has been a bit like that film, like 5 days of dancing and running and dancing. And by now, I'm sure that everyone involved feels kind of like people at the end of the show.
Juice. I come here a lot when I'm about to design a collection.
Yeah.
And you know, to think about which way to go, and just to think about the business, and but mainly
like a meditation.
Yeah, completely. Because I used to meditate and I used to do yoga, and you know, you sit where I'm taking you now. There's a cliff that you can just look out to France, and then you see the birds and they fly right close to you. You see the rabbits. It's just like, to me, it's like peace and quiet. It's like heaven.
Yeah.
So,
it's heaven.
It's quite shocking that this crazy thing about Alexander McQueen, party animal, and this, and now you see me like Snow White.
Yeah.
This is why I think this is why I find so much inspiration in nature, because how can you compete with this? Man can't make this. This is made by nature.
Yeah. In Paris, it's important just to show your fashion now.
You know what? I'm surprised because I like Paris more than I ever did.
Oh yeah?
Yeah. I like Paris much more than I did when I was at Givenchy, because I was just going from my apartment to Givenchy and back again. I didn't really know Paris or understand the people properly. And now it's like every time I go there for the show, I have more. I make sure that I go a few days before so I can go to some exhibitions. I respect it much more than I did before. I never thought I would say that because I had such bad memories of Paris.
What do you expect for the next years?
No, I believe in destiny, and if my destiny still lies in fashion in the next 5 years, then that's good. If it means my destiny takes me somewhere else, maybe film or, I don't know, art.
But you are open.
I'm open, you know. It's
like here.
like my life is an open book. In England, we say I wear my heart on my sleeve. It's you know. I'm at peace with myself now, you know. It's a nice place to be because I'm under no pressure except my own pressure, but I'm always pushing myself, so it's good.
Thank you, Alexander.
Thank you.
Thank you.